Hello and welcome everyone to round number 7 here at League of Europe for Division number 4, coming to you from the Sochi Autodrome and the host of the 2014 Winter Olympics in the commentary booth to take you through this race, go through this race with you guys. It's going to be myself, QVR Packer, in the commentator's booth here tonight. Ariel Nolan unfortunately could not make it. He's having a birthday dinner, but and maybe I think we might just be able to get old school 3000 in here after qualifying. But yes, anyways, just about to head into this one a little bit low on numbers here, heading into the Russian or the League of Europe Russian Grand Prix for season number 6. But we are getting readied up just now. Let's take a quick look at the standings and at Killer's Instincts for this one for Division 4. You can go on to the League of Europe Twitter at League of Europe and read it if you really want to. But now heading over to the standings, Ryan B is still in the lead of this championship, being on the podium 5 out of 6 races so far this season. 107 points, the most points I believe, if not tied for the most points. Or no, I think he has the most points on the PlayStation side of League of Europe with the 2021 F1 cars. Alt Maverick in second place, the American on 78 points. Cam K just 20 behind him, his fellow American in the Ferrari and the McLaren respectively. Major Falcon in fourth in the Alpine on 48 points. MCR and Ariel Jordan are tied on 36 apiece. A Storm on 33. Poles on 32, as well as Passe, who took a dominant victory last time out, especially also picking out that fastest lap. Mr. Walter in P10 on 28 points. Connor or Slumcon on 26 in 11th. Energetics with 21 points in P12. Slayer on 19 points in P13, and then it's McDutchface and Eduk on 12 and 11 points, as well as Alex in 16th on 10 points. Ivor Mike with 8 points to his name. Dirt Tim with 7. Baggy Bones and Marty rounding out the standings out of the drivers who have all scored points on 3 each, and then TRT James, Jabbo, Kais, SOP Ben Gallagher, and Chris Few all on 0. All of those guys are reserves. But yeah, now heading into short qualifying session. It does look to be dry out there for the time being, and I don't think we're going to be getting any rain, unlike real life, but that could have been quite the spectacle out there on track. But yeah, just waiting for drivers to come out on track. A few drivers already heading out, and a few drivers have selected the medium tires, and for some reason Passe is in the Haas. Isn't he supposed to be in the McLaren? Oh, never mind. Passe's in the Haas. Anyways. Oh, yeah, I guess he would have been a reserve last week. All right. Well, anyways. First driver out on track, I think, is going to be Alt Maverick in the Ferrari. Second place in the championship. He's going to be leading his way on this outlap. And then it's the Alfa Romeo of Energetics on mediums, interestingly enough. And then the two McLarens, the Viper Mike and Kim K. They're splitting strategy so far earlier on in qualifying. But strategy here at Russia is really not too... Not too difficult to understand. It's really not rocket science if you really think about it. The softs, if you're going to start on the softs inside the top 10, it's going to be around 6-7 laps. And then you're going to be making your way onto a set of the medium compounded tires to go to the end of the race. And they don't drop off necessarily, but after the first few laps, you'll see it start to see a little bit of a dip in pace, but then eventually they will equal out with those medium tires. But the alternate strategy, medium soft here, you can... medium soft can be really good, especially if the soft runners right at the beginning are quite slow and you're able to keep up with them and then keep a decent pace. Compared to the guys who did pit onto the mediums. But the guys who start on the medium compounded tires are going to be going around up 16, 17, 18 before they pit onto what should be, hopefully for them, a fresh set of soft compound tires. That's what those guys who are out on the medium tires are hoping for right now, trying to save one set of tires maybe for that alternate strategy just in case. But it's going to be Alt Maverick leading us on to the first flying lap here at the Sochi Autodrome, the host of the 2014 Olympics. As I said, short run down to the start finish line from the final corner, and we'll be underway through turn 1 here with DRS open. Let's see what the Ferrari driver can do through this first sector. Now braking into the very, very, very difficult turn 2. Don't want to clip too much curb either way. If you do hit that exit curb, the wrong way, you will go spinning off into the barrier. Now through the very, very long turn 3 left-hander, now dipping into turn 4. Track very flat, not much camber, so you will have quite a bit of understeer. You'll see quite a lot of drivers struggling with understeer and keeping it on the track. 33.349 for Alt Maverick through the first sector, fastest of everyone so far. Now through the middle sector, through turn 6 and through turn 7. You don't want to hit these inside sausage apex curbs. They will absolutely ruin you, especially here at turn number 9. Gets a little bit of a touch of it as he heads through 8 and now through 9 and now heading into turn number 10. This one you can take a little bit of that inside curb, but you don't want to take too much, otherwise you'll lose traction all the way down this long back straight through 10, 11 with DRS open as well into 12. This left-hander and into the final sector, 105.128 for second place in the championship. The Ferrari driver 13 through turn 14 now. It's a little bit off camber, so it's going to be a little bit difficult on traction, but now into the uphill turn 15. So very difficult. The car goes very light over the apex, and now trying to flick it into turn 16 to get the best run up towards the penultimate corner into turn 17 and towards turn 18. Track limits really around the entire circuit. If you go off and don't get invalidated, you can be given a penalty of 131.769 for Alt Maverick to kick off this session. Just going on board now with Energetics. He's on the mediums of 33.855 for him. Let's see what the McLarens can do. Iverberg Mike goes up to second, and Kamke goes up to fourth. A really slow lap compared to Energetics there. Just about 2 seconds off. Alpine crossed the line. I think that was just someone starting a lap. That might have been MCR. Actually, just finishing. He must have invalidated. The two Alpha Towers really close to each other on track once again. Dirtim will lead Alex to the line both on softs, 32.4 and 33.2 for the two Alpha Tower drivers. Now it's going to be the Haas of Ariel Passe, race winner last week. He's a tenth of a second faster than Alt Maverick through that through the middle sector split. So on a pretty decent lap here on the medium compounded tires in the Haas. Racing the McLaren last week as a reserve driver, I do believe. Driver behind them is going to be Ariel Jordan, just about to start a lap, and the Red Bull is going to be United Bosnia. As the Passe goes fastest on the mediums of 31.579 for the Haas driver, possibly looking for a promotion into Division 3. He's not really in the championship fight as of right now. Looking for the next driver on a lap. I think it's going to be Alt Maverick, the next driver out on track, but I don't think he's going to be on a lap considering right now he is second on the leaderboard. So let's look for someone else. I think it's going to be Ariel Jordan, the next driver to cross the line. So let's ride on board with the Mercedes driver through his first flying lap of this session on the soft compounded tire. Heading through turn 3 and into turn 4, using all the track that he can. A little bit wide. You want to be trying to keep it in fifth gear if you can. At the fifth gear is the highest gear you can really take through there, and help you carry that momentum, especially if you get the line right and the turning right and everything right. That's really what you need to do, especially through this middle sector here at Sochi. You need to be able to keep it clean and clinical through this middle sector, because if you're not perfect through this middle sector, you're going to lose tenths on tenths just with little tiny mistakes, or clipping a curve like Jordan just did there onto the back straight. He could possibly lose a tenth there if he gets an oversteer snap off of that curve, but looks pretty stable for him so far. Ghost yellow flag here going down towards turn 13, 105.245. So on for what is looking to be third on the grid as of right now. Passage is getting out of the way to the right. Use all the curb here in turn number 15. Looks pretty decent, able to keep it stable. Ooh, a little bit of a tight line into 16, and that's really not what you want to be doing. Use all the curb, and it got his car thrown up into the air, so he's going to be losing quite a bit of time off of that. Maybe looking to go into P4 is Ariel Jordan, 32.1, and will go into P4, 3/10 in front of the Alpha Tauri. Now, I think it's going to be United Bosnia crosses the line. P9, slowest out of the drivers who have set a lap time so far, 35.3, as Kamke also improved. But the top two now are into the pit lane. River and Mike, I believe, is going again, it looks like. Actually, maybe he's not. I think he's on an in-lap. Jordan would be on an in-lap as well. Kamke should be on an in-lap. Yes, he is. United Bosnia, I think, just finished. He might be going again, though. But yeah, I think that's everyone on a lap so far. So drivers out on track, obviously, besides the four that are on, should be on in-laps. Major Falcon and Marty, both on the soft compounded tires. But right now, Ariel Passe on current provisional pole position on 131.579 on the medium compounded tires. You know, that's actually really not that bad of a lap, if I'm going to be completely honest. When I started practicing last night, I was around a 131.4 on the medium tires, so that's actually really good for him. But yeah, especially in Division 4 to be on pole position on the medium compounded tires. But now we can watch Major Falcon start his first flying lap, going over to the right side of the circuit, interestingly enough. opens up DRS as he heads through turn 1. I believe this is the only circuit where we have DRS through a corner, but I'm not entirely sure. Obviously, turn 1 isn't that much of a corner, but it can get a little bit tight there on lap 1, especially right off the start. I have had, in the past, a few incidents there at the first corner. But now into turn 4. Alpine driver looking to hook it up pretty decently, short shifting the 6th gear just to keep it stable on the exit. 31.132. Not that bad of a first sector, not gonna lie, as the Alpine driver now heading through the middle sector into turn number 7. Goes down to 4th gear. Scrubbed off a little bit of a speed there through the apex, but Major Falcon, wow, through turn 9 and turn 8. That was quite a bit of speed, short shifting to 7 just to make sure to keep it stable. And now up to 5th gear through turn 10 and now through turn 11 with the DRS open. This is looking like a pretty solid lap here for the Alpine driver. Let's head over to the broadcast camera for this final sector through turn 12 and now dipping into turn 13. 104.788, by far the fastest middle sector split we've seen so far. So Major Falcon looking for pole here on that soft compound of tires into turn number 15, I want to say, now through 16. Looks really clean for the Alpine driver, so maybe looking to put himself on for his first pole position of the season. Keeping it clean through the final 2 corners. A little bit of cautious on turning there into the final corner, but it's a 131.2, 3/10 in front of Ariel Passe, and is already looking really good on for a possible pole position here first of the season. It would be for Major Falcon, I believe 4th in the championship right now, so not too bad overall. So, Connor has just started a lap in P12 without a lap time yet. Marty, I think, is going to be the next driver on a lap. Also, Cam K still out on track, interestingly, and Energetics has just started. He's breaking into turn 2. Marty's going to be the next driver then on a lap into turn 15. It goes a little bit deep, but now through 16, down to 2nd gear to get that rotation, but didn't get too much from it, maybe in a little bit too low of a gear. But now into the penultimate corner, down to 3rd gear, a little bit wide, didn't quite get the turn in right, and now into the final corner, whacks the curb on the inside. That's going to push him wide to the 32 flat for Marty. So that could have been into the 31s, which, well, surely would have put him in front of Ivor and Mike. But backing off there to the line, he's going to be in P5 now. Maybe looking for a lap on the medium compounded tires, but it's going to be difficult to beat that, I would imagine. Let's look for the next driver in a lap. I think it's going to be Slumpcon, and currently Connor is purple middle sector, it says by the game, and is P12 right now through the final sector. Ooh, a little bit of a slide there through turn 14 as Old School has joined us in the commentator's booth.
How you doing?
I'm doing very well, actually. So yeah, just a few minutes left in qualifying, just 7.5 minutes left here at the Sochi Autodrome, and now we have a co-commentator. So,
well, I was just been stuffing myself full of spaghetti, and it looks like someone stuffed it. It looks like Cam K, or is it Ivor? It's Ivor. He's made a bit of a pasta dinner out of his corner as he reverses onto oncoming traffic, which is an interesting play there from the man sitting in 5th, and he's on a wing like Gasly's yesterday. Not looking too sharp.
Yeah, looking a little bit interesting there for Ivor and Mike, but currently P5, not too bad so far in qualifying for him. Decent enough lap, but there are going to be other drivers improving soon, I'm sure. Passe, interestingly enough, currently his fastest lap time is on the medium tires and only 200ths of a second off the front row, so he's looking really strong as well, especially off his, well, dominant win in France last time out, as well as picking up the fastest lap as well. So since you've been gone and not commentating Division 4, there's been quite a few things happening here in this division.
Yeah, well, I've obviously been keeping up with it. Ryan's got a very healthy lead, but he's not here tonight, so that opens up the door for quite a few of these guys. You would obviously think Maverick. I still think Passe's got a shot as well. I think he's criminally placed. Not from the beginning of the season. That's not a dig at the Orgs. I just think he's got so much pace, and he could conceivably win every race for me at this point. He's lightning quick. So this is an unfortunate miss for Mr. Ryan B.
Yes, I would tend to agree with you on that one, because he could be picking up pretty decent points. Well, I would say pretty decent points over Alt Maverick, but currently Alt Maverick's on the front row, so I'm not entirely sure. But points are won in the race, not in qualifying, unfortunately for myself so far in this season. But yeah, anyways, we still have Cam K out here on 6-lap-old medium tires, by the way. I'd just like to point that out. With 5 minutes left in qualifying, maybe not getting enough practice in over the week and just trying to do some laps. But yeah, that's an interesting thing I've just picked up on. United Bosnia's on a lap heading through the middle sector. He's 2 seconds up on his medium time. He's out there on softs, so looking to improve there. But yeah, just trying to find anyone else on a lap really. But I think we should ride on board with United Bosnia.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Does that mean he's obviously got a fresh set of mediums for the race regardless? But is this second set, will that be the 6-lap-old mediums that he would have, or will he have another fresh set if he starts outside the top 10?
He'll have one fresh set to start on, but if he goes on another one, he'd be going onto that set. So, yeah.
So yeah, this isn't wise, because if you start on softs and then you go onto those mediums and there's a safety car, you know, just out of range of those softs. I mean, I know it's fairly unlikely, but it's still a consideration. I wouldn't want to be burning through a set of tyres unnecessarily. So, but yeah, you know, it's a risk you take, I guess.
Yeah, we have a Dirt Tim fan in the comments, Mrs. Wolf Mercy, saying that Dirt Tim is going to win this race. So it'll be interesting to see what Dirt Tim can do. Just looking over to the standings, Dirt Tim, lowly 18th place in the standings on 7 points, picking up 6 in USA and 1 point in Spain. So has a lot, not too much to work off of so far this season, but I believe he can get it done. It would be quite the sight, if I'm going to be honest, if he can't get that done. But the only 2 drivers out on track right now, United Bosnia and Iverbrun Mike, who is on an outlap right now and is driving quite fast for an outlap, I must say.
I think this could be a really badly timed lap, because pretty soon I think he's going to hit all of that traffic that's going to be leaving the pit. He might get through it actually just before they go out, but it's going to be fairly close. But I guess his logic might be that you can probably get away with doing 2 laps on these softs realistically. Tyre deg isn't the worst around here, is it?
No, it's not that bad at all. It's around 3, maybe 4%, I think, in the race, from what I've been doing in practice. So yeah, it's not too bad at all. So yeah, you can't get away with 2, maybe 3. Oh, you don't even have time for 3 laps. But yeah, you could maybe do 2 laps if you do have the fuel, of course. Turning up the ERS now, but now you can see there are drivers leaving the pit lane. I believe that's Alt Maverick just heading down towards turn 2, as well as one of the Alpines that might be Major Falcon or MCR. Not entirely sure. It's MCR. So let's ride on board with Iverbrun Mike. There's a Williams coming out of the pit lane right next to him. That's Connor. Not going to get any slipstream from the Williams, so he's going to be in clean air for the entirety of this lap. So let's see what the Welsh driver can do.
Yeah, needs to keep it nice and tight through this corner. Definitely could have kept it tighter, just leaned out a little bit, but he's nice and smooth for the second part. This is such a tough corner. Looks up okay actually. And this one as well. This one is really crucial. Yeah, he's too hesitant. He's taken that far too hesitant and lost heaps of time there. This corner, very hard to get on the throttle out of here, but he looks to be. I'm starting to see the pace differences down here. That was very tidy, but yeah, just a little bit of hesitancy. That's what costs you at Russia. You have to be fully committed, as he nearly commits himself into the wall again. I think exactly the same place he did earlier on, but looking fairly tidy as he's going to keep it to the left here. Tough to brake, especially with no ABS. Doesn't lock up at all. That looked actually very smart. That didn't. That's a little bit too hesitant. He's looking like he's okay through here. Nice and smooth. This feels like it takes a world of time going through that little section. This is where you can really cost yourself. It's easy to bottle this, and again, just a bit hesitant for me. But he does improve.
Yeah, 400's improvement for the Welsh driver in the McLaren. Stays in P9 for the time being. He does have enough time to do another lap, but he'd have to keep on pushing from that lap he was just doing. So maybe tire time's not looking exactly perfect. If you were going to come to the end of another flying lap, Alt Maverick is going to be the next driver to cross the line on a flying lap. Everyone is out on track as of right now. The only driver that's not going to be on a lap coming soon, I would imagine, is Iverbrun Mike. We can check in with him real quick. He's still pushing out there, so still trying to improve just a little bit. But yeah, I would imagine it's going to be a little bit of a struggle for him to to get in a faster lap time. Just looking at the track map, though, I think we have a few people who... Ooh, Iverbryn Mike is out. That's him gone. And that's on the exit of turn 7. That's an interesting spot because it's almost on the racing line, but it's not like on the racing line. It's just kind of there where you really want to be. So especially setting up turns 8 and 9. So it's going to be interesting. Everyone will make it to the line for their final flying lap as Alt Maverick heading into turn 15 here. A little bit of slidey there on the rear end, especially on the exit of 14. It can be a very difficult traction zone, and it has proven itself to be a difficult traction zone in the past. Now through the final corner for the Ferrari driver, looking for a possible provisional pole position. It's a 31-2 and is just able to put himself on that front or further up on the front row. MCR invalidated is a 33-6. There was no improvement for the Alpine driver, so it's going to be Connor, the next driver to cross the line, but he's invalidated as well. So I think Marty's going to be the next driver, followed by Jordan.
Yeah, I think you're right. And that looks very messy from Marty as I'm riding on board of them. What can you do here? It's going to be quite the advantage to get 11th here. He ain't got too many people behind him to worry about. As he comes over the line, he does improve. He gets himself up to 7th. Fair play.
Yeah, Marty goes up to 7th, and then Jordan will stay in P6, I believe. Energetics has crashed at the final corner. That's interesting spot to crash. I'm not entirely sure how he did that. Cam K will go up to P3 as Major Falcon has gone up to the front row. Passe only able to improve up to 3rd place after doing that. I think it was a 31.5 on the medium tires. Only able to find a 10th in a little bit. Alpine to the line. I think that's Major Falcon. That's going to be provisional pole position for the Alpine driver. 131.064. We still have a few more contenders for the for pole position. Dirtim is into the pits, and United Bosnia around the final corner is invalid. So that is going to be qualifying over. Major Falcon followed by Alt Maverick. Alt Maverick really needs a big race here if he wants to close down Ryan B in the championship, but it's going to be Passe P3 followed by Cam K, followed by MCR, Energetics, Jordan, Marty, United Bosnia, and Dirtim, the top 10, and then Iverbryn Mike just securing by 4 thousandths of a second. Never mind. Quite a bit larger than 4,000. I think around half a second, actually. Just looking at the final numbers there. But yeah, he's going to be on poor man's pole position for this Russian Grand Prix. And the Ultra isn't terrible, so let's see if he'll be able to pull it off.
Yeah, just a quick note. Mrs. is a league. It is not his wife. So
oh.
In the comments chat.
It said it, Mrs. That's what I expected, all right? Okay. Come on.
Oh dear, I'm sorry.
Sorry for assuming. I am terribly, terribly sorry. But anyways. Oh. Yeah, Major Falcon, followed by Alt Maverick, Passe, Cam K, MCR, Energetics, Jordan, Marty, United Bosnia, Dirtim, and then Iverbryn Mike, Connor, McDutchface, and Alex will round out the grid. We have Germans at the front and at the back. I'm not entirely sure what to think of that one, but there are the results from qualifying. 1.8 seconds separates the top 14, and just over 0.8 of a second separates the top 11 there. So, yeah, not entirely sure what to think of that one, but Major Falcon's on pole, and Alt Maverick's on the front row as well.
Yeah, Major Falcon is a consistent point scorer. Scored points in every single race this season. Won here last season, according to Jordan. Mm-hmm. And, yeah, looking like he's going to add to his points tally if he doesn't mess up. But he's on wheel. I mean, would you describe this as a pad track? I think I
would say it's more wheel, because you have to be quite on the racing line at all times here, especially through the middle sector. So I would say it's very difficult for pad users to put it in the right places on the track. At least that's what I've heard from certain Excel drivers, mainly named Dylan. But anyways, what can you really expect from Dylan, especially when it comes to a track such as Russia? No shade, of course. But anyways, yeah, I'm not entirely sure what to expect from this one. There's going to be quite a bit... I want to say quite a bit of strategy, but when I say strategy, I mean safety cars. So,
oh yeah, this is it. What do you do with fuel here? You know, this is something we haven't really talked about before, but it's an important thing. Is this a fuel heavy track or is it a fairly fuel light track?
From what I've seen from myself personally, I did a full race probably half an hour ago. Well, no, more like 45 minutes ago, and I was in cleaner almost the entire time, and I only used about 1.1 laps of fuel. So it's not that fuel heavy, but still you're going to be needing a pretty decent amount. But since there's, I would imagine at least one or two safety cars here in almost every race tonight, just because it is Russia. It might be worth it taking a little bit less, but if that safety car never comes out, then you're going to be really, well, hung out to dry. If that's a pun or not, I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see what these drivers decide on it. Otherwise, you could just play it safe, try and burn fuel under the safety car. But yeah, I think that's really it for that. Also, Major Falcon is going very fast on this formation lap.
He's treating this as lap 0 rather than a formation lap. He's definitely getting a move on. I think what's going to be very interesting, kind of tough here is it is roulette. These medium runners do not. Well, it's interesting. We say they don't want an early safety car. If they can get some track position, stay out. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I'm giving away too many secrets here, but this is a very easy medium, soft medium kind of gig, isn't it? And a medium soft gig. It's not really a track to get these hards out at any point, really.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with you on that one. But as we do come to the grid now, there's a pretty big gap between P9 and P8 as well as P1 and P2 here in the formation lap. So Major Falcon's tires are going to be they're going to be freezing basically, unless you got them to around like, where they're yellow pretty much just from overheating. But yeah, just going onto the grid now. Alpha Tower of Alex just heading around the final corner on the medium tires. We haven't really talked too much about strategy, but yeah, obviously the final 4 are going to be on the medium tires and the top 10 on the softs. And as you mentioned, it's a pretty easy soft medium here, or medium soft, either way you want to look at it. So not too much in strategy, but it's really going to come down to safety cars, how this race is going to pan out. But here for round number 7 of League of Europe for division number 4, we have 5 lights and lights out, and away we go. It's going to be important to get a really good start. Passage had an amazing start, but so is Cam K already around the outside of All Maverick going through turn 1. Major Falcon has been absolutely gifted a dream start there going down towards turn 2. I think Passage is going to be into P2 going into turn 2. The Ferrari and the McLaren of Cam K and All Maverick going side by side as Marty's trying to make up a position on MCR, and he's going to get that position. He's going to be up into P5. All Maverick dropping from the front row down to P4, and now with his Ferrari teammate backing him up, but it's going to be the Alpine of Major Falcon leading through turn 4 and through the first sector, passing with an amazing start as well as Cam K. All Maverick just getting too much wheel spin off the line, and then Marty and MCR, Jordan, Energetics, and Iverbryn, Mike, who's made up 2 positions from the start. Dirt Tim has dropped a few places as well as United Bosnia. McDutchface trying to go around the outside of Dirt Tim. Dirt Tim taking a defensive line into turn 7. McDutchface is really falling off the train here because of this battle with the Alpha Tower, but up at the front, Major Falcon starting to bolt away.
Yeah, absolutely. Ivor doing really well on those mediums. He's jumped up a little bit. He's finds himself up in tonight. United Bosnia with a bit of a poor start, but Ivor just needs to keep on this train and hope that it doesn't break too far up ahead, because Major Falcon, like you said, is already out of DRS.
Yeah, and DRS is very, very, very powerful here at the Sochi Autodrome. Energetics goes really deep into turn 13 there. Dirt Tim's going to be in behind him, trying to find a possible way through it. He's a little bit too far back. McDutchface and the rest of the medium runners are all getting held up behind this, and Iverbryn Mike has found himself in a perfect position here, as long as he can stay on the back of this train. But heading to the final corner here on lap 1, on to lap number 2. Major Falcon leads from passing from Cam K, Alt Maverick, Marty, MCR, Jordan, Iverbryn Mike on the mediums. That's a standout starter so far in this one. Energetics in P9, followed by Dirt Tim, McDutchface, Slumpcon, United Bosnia, and Alex. No incidents here on lap number 1, which is quite the surprise, but Major Falcon, he's really getting away, and I think once DRS gets enabled, it's going to be difficult, especially if anyone drops from the train, possibly Cam K, because All Maverick is looking to make a move into turn number 4. It's going to be difficult for people to catch back up.
Yeah, I think Maverick looks like he's got really good pace. He's just really had an awful start, and I think he would have had a good shot of potentially keeping up with Falcon, but unfortunately he's stuck behind Cam K. Someone goes really, really, really wide in the background. I think that was Jordan. Manages to keep out of the wall, but I'm amazed. It just caught the back end of that. But yeah, Maverick's still all over the back of Cam K, and like I say, Ivor is doing a very stellar job up in 8th on those mediums, and he's only going to get quicker.
Yeah, those mediums, especially after 2 to 3 laps, those mediums are equal, if not better, as we head down into turn number 13. Iverburn Mike looking down the inside on the straight of Ariel Jordan. I think Jordan's just going to be able to keep that position. It's very difficult to overtake there, especially down the inside. Jordan goes a little bit wide of it into turn number 15. He's not going to be able to make a move as the McLaren driver, and it has to stay behind for the time being. But once DRS gets enabled, I think he'll be able to make his way through the field a little bit better. But Alt Maverick unable to make a move on Kamke. He's around 70% ERS as we head around the final corner. Kamke on 50%, trying to stick with Passe, as Passe is trying to stick with Major Falcon, even though he hasn't used that much ERS, but Major Falcon absolutely flying because he's below 20% ERS. We have to point that out. But he has broken DRS, and I think that's really the best thing for him, but I think he used a little bit too much in pursuing that gap. Alt Maverick still in the back of Kamke as McDutchface and Dirtim are going side by side through turn 2 and now through turn 3. The Alpha Tower is going to be around the outside of the Red Bull. The Red Bull drivers on the mediums. Slumcon trying to get involved in this as well, but the Alpha Tower will keep it around the outside of the Red Bull. McDutchface trying to keep it there on the outside. Dirtim will give him the room, and McDutchface moves a little bit over to the right in trying to defend his position. Dirtim is going to have to stay behind for the time being, and McDutchface up in the P10, so that's a decent move. But now he has to try and catch right back up to the train, and actually we have a break in the train as well. MCR is struggling. He's 1.2 seconds behind the Ferrari duo.
Yeah, absolutely. London Tim just lost it out in the last corner, and it cost him so much time, and it created that little concertina effect. But what I'm really loving about this race so far is that there are 14 drivers still out there, all still out. You know, no one got messed up on turn 1. You know, just because there's only 14 here tonight, there's going to be some divisions potentially that will have 14 by this point. So.
Not too many guys here. Unfortunately, a lot of drivers could not make it here tonight, but we do have to look up at the front because Kamke is really struggling. Normally, Kamke is pretty decent in most of the races we've seen so far this season, the first 6 rounds. But he's dropped off the back of Passe, who's, I don't want to say starting to push a little bit, but he's not using too much ERS. Kamke is using a lot of his ERS when it comes to Passe as well. But now DRS going down towards turn 2. Kamke doesn't have any DRS, and this is going to be Alt Maverick's chance because Kamke is closing in. Passe has dropped back for whatever reason. Maybe just had a really bad exit, but Alt Maverick looking up the inside into turn 2. The McLaren driver will have to go a little bit wide. He'll cut back to the racing line to try to not pick up a warning. MCR and Iverburn Mike are switching positions now as well. As Energetics is out of spin, and he's out of the race. And that is at turn 2, going towards turn 3. Must have just got a little bit of a touch of that exit curb at turn 2 and spun him into the wall. I've been victim of that way too many times in the last 2 games. But yeah, moving forward, Major Falcon still has a pretty decent lead. He hasn't really been able to use too much ERS since he created that gap. But Kamke, after Passe dropped quite a bit, far ways back, Kamke is able to close back in, and now is starting to fall back once again. And Alt Maverick trying to get there, trying to make this move. Kamke touches the inside curb, going on towards the straight at turn 10, and now through turn 11. Kamke is derating. There's no chance Alt Maverick does not make this move, and it's going to be easy peasy for the Ferrari driver. He's going to be up and onto the podium for the time being. Marty's going to be in behind him, but now Alt Maverick has his chance to chase down Ariel Passe and has a chance to possibly make his start to make his way towards that race lead.
That was genius. That was really underplayed because normally you would think people would do it, down the main straight. But what he did is he used that momentum of that DRS to get back into DRS range of Passe and effectively unbrake that train. So it's actually helped Kamke in a very strange way because they're going to keep onto the back of Passe, and Maverick is not going to suffer not having DRS. So that was actually some very clever play there, which is impressive for an American.
Hey, I'm going to need to chill out just a little bit. Oh my goodness, Iverburn Mike. He was literally skating going down towards turn 2. I'm not entirely sure what he's trying to do, but he's trying to make the move on Ariel Jordan. Just was not quite close enough, but we have to look at his battery as well. He's used almost all of his ERS trying to make his way through the field, and I think he's only really made one overtake as Kamke picks up a 3-second time penalty. So the McLaren's seemingly struggling a little bit. Iverburn Mike struggling with his ERS. Kamke struggling with keeping it on the track.
Slump. Connor is round. He went down the inside, I think, of United Bosnia, and unfortunately, I don't know. I don't think he potentially got the room there and just got spun, but no damage. You crack on.
Yeah, I just looked over to my screen. I was on the Division 3 screen, and we had another spinning Williams. So maybe not too good. Not looking too good for me in the future. But anyways, Alt Maverick on Passe going down towards turn 13. Alt Maverick will break a little bit before that breaking point, and will not make that move. He'll stay in behind for the time being, but Iverson Mike will get the overtake done on Ariel Jordan without almost killing himself going down towards turn 2. But now he's going to be struggling with a little bit of ERS. He has a 3.1 second gap. It's going to be very difficult, I would imagine, for him to try and catch up. But actually, Passe is going to be into the pit lane now here on lap number 5.
Yeah, that's early. That could be dangerous in a sense, because these guys will have DRS, and he might get overcut, which is pretty rare in this game, but it could happen on this one.
Yeah, definitely a possibility for the Haas driver to get overcut, but I think he has enough ERS, I would imagine, to where he'll be able to push out of the pit lane. And now it's actually these drivers, the guys who are in front of him and around him in general, really. Major Falcon, actually, I would say he has a chance of getting, Passe should be in DRS by the time Major Falcon comes out of the pit lane, depending on when he pits. Alt Maverick is going to be there. He's going to be trying to push as well. Cam K following, as well as Marty and Iverson Mike, unable to make any ground on the top 4 right now. The gap is staying around about the same, 3.2, 3.1 seconds, and has already dropped Jordan out of his DRS, so Jordan's struggling for pace as well. But MCR, McDutchface, Dirt Tim, as well as United Bosnia, who seems to be really fast here on these soft tires, trying to pressure the Honda-powered Alpha Tauri and Alex with these guys as well. It's going to be interesting to see what happens here. Let's take a quick look at the leader gap, 25.4 seconds. It's going to be close, I would imagine. Let's look up at the front and see what Major Falcon decides to do on lap number 6 here in terms of strategy.
Doesn't look to be pitting. Cam K looks... no, he had a little dummy run there at it, which was cheeky. But yeah, it doesn't look like anyone else is going to... Oh no, Jordan is in, as is MCR.
I think that's a smart idea, honestly, especially from Jordan, because Jordan was obviously struggling with his tires. He couldn't keep up with anyone that overtook him. So he's going to be into the pit lane and put on a fresh set of medium compound tires, as well as MCR in the Alpine garage, and Passe just around the final corner. He's going to be well clear, you would imagine, of these guys as McDutchface and Dirt Tim are going side by side through turn 2. We have a few drivers side by side. Ooh, is that United Bosnia getting all out of shape there as Alex will make his way past him. Dirt Tim and McDutchface still going side by side through turn 3. Now into turn 4. The Red Bull is going to be on the inside of the Alpha Tauri, really tight there through turn 4. McDutchface is going to get a little bit squirrely there, but Dirt Tim's going to be up in P6, so Dirt Tim not looking too bad here so far in this race, but he's on the soft tires and he's going to be starting to struggle, and he's really low, really low on ERS as well, so you have to point that out. But McDutchface, the two, we have all 4 Honda powered cars right in this little group here, so these guys are going to be, I'd imagine, scrapping it out for what would be the rest of the race, especially once these strategies decide to collide towards the end of this race, once everybody comes into the pit lane. But Major Falcon still up with this front of this race, 1.5 seconds. Let's see if he's going to come in. I'd imagine this is probably the latest you can really pit once you're on those soft tires.
Yeah, this should be... I mean, the only other option, because he does stay out, just stay out for the safety car. I don't know, it's not the best idea in the world, but it could work. Because Marty's in a very good spot, actually. We haven't really talked about Marty. He's kind of gone under the radar, but he's just slotted himself in nicely. He's not doing anything crazy. And Passe, obviously, is way back. There's only 8 seconds clear of Jordan, which to me, that's surprising. I thought that gap might have been bigger, but McDutchface and Dirt Tim going at it again.
Passe, fastest lap of the race, a 1:34.501. He's closing 3 seconds on Major Falcon since he's come out of the pit lane, so Passe is going to be well clear in the lead of this race. Once these guys come into the pit lane, you'd have to imagine, but they're still out there on track going on to lap number 8. So interesting decision from the top 4, all on the softs. You have to remember, as well as Dirt Tim and United Bosnia have P7 and P9. Iverson Mike starting to close these guys down in front is a 2.1 second gap, 4.4 second gap he has back to McDutchface, who was able to make his way past Dirt Tim on the previous lap. Alex and Bosnia following him as well, and Connor 3 seconds behind after his little spin, and then Passe 8.1 seconds behind him, and is really has been picking up the pace recently, especially after that pit stop, but getting pretty close between the guy through second through fourth. Cam K right in the back, almost into the back of Alt Maverick, but now Marty down the inside of turn 15 and through 16. The Ferrari's going to be on the outside, the McLaren's on the inside, a little bit of contact wheel to wheel, and Falcon's in, Maverick's in, and then Marty and Cam K stay out, which I think Cam K probably should have pit, but too late for that now.
I think Marty wanted to, but then he had to react, didn't he, to Maverick. So, yeah, they're going to get caught short here, I feel. They really could, and it would be interesting to see. I don't think they're in danger of getting jumped by Jordan. No way, I don't think, but it's I think this could be a strategy error, but they're going to have significantly newer tyres, so who knows.
Yeah, the tires are going to be 3 to 4 laps newer, but look how far they are behind. Now Marty picks up a 3-second time penalty trying to keep Cam K behind, and Ivory and Mike is 1.5 seconds behind them. But look how all Mavericks.
Oh no, McDuck's face.
Ooh.
Blunder Tim. They were battling for a lap after lap, and side by side into that corner just doesn't work. And he is round and down into 8th. So the only we have a yellow.
That's Marty.
Marty.
You can see really those soft tires are starting to drop off. I've seen many people do that, especially at turning. Just hit an inside curb, hit the outside curb, and then you're around and now almost out of this race. He's still in front of United Bosnia, which is interesting, as United Bosnia actually now just making his way past using ERS, using DRS. But we have to look at the front runners now. Major Falcon 3.1 seconds behind Passe, after pitting 2 laps after him, and All Maverick 2.1 seconds behind Major Falcon. So he's really going to have to pick up the pace if he wants to get onto the back of that guy in front of him. Is Durtim trying to make a move on United Bosnia. Marty just following these guys in behind. I think United Bosnia has made that move on Durtim as well. Marty's going to be into the pit lane. I think that's a smart decision from him. Cam K is in as well, but he's going to be even further behind Alt Maverick.
Yeah. This is playing out quite nicely for Ivor. I feared the worst for him. I don't want to commentators curse him at all, but there's a lot of going on ahead of him, net ahead of him, I suppose. And he could potentially benefit here, because this will be interesting to see where Cam K comes out as well. It's going to be... Wow. He's a long way back.
Yeah.
He's a really long way back.
Cam K is almost... Well, Jordan's now within DRS range, and Jordan had MCR almost onto the back of him. Marty, after that spin, is obviously going to be quite a while back, around 5.5, 6 seconds almost for the Ferrari driver. But yeah, Cam K is so far back. You can see how much those tires were starting to drop off, and he had his teammate right behind him, so he had to deal with that as well. So, yeah, 4 seconds for Cam K. See, this is what I meant when I said lap 6, 7, maybe lap 5. Passe made the right decision, in my opinion. His tires are 3 laps older than the 2 drivers in front of him, or the 2 nearest drivers to him, but still, he has such a big lead, 3.1 seconds, 3.2 seconds. And after the first few laps, Major Falcon and Passe were pretty equal on pace, so Passe looks to be on for, as of right now, a race victory, but they still have to contend with Albert and Mike on that alt strat.
Yeah, absolutely. And when are these guys looking to pit on these mediums? When would be a good time? Lap 14, 15, do you think? Was that too early?
I think that's a little bit early. On fresh softs, you want to pit maybe 16 at the very earliest, because at that point, your tires will start to drop off if you do any earlier. So, well, even right then, the last few laps, the tires will start to drop off. So around 17, I'd imagine, as Alt Maverick sets fastest lap of the race, trying to close up to the back of Major Falcon. He's done well. He's closed in 0.8 to the Alpine drivers. Major Falcon has closed in just around 0.2 of a second to Passe. But yeah, these fresh tires are starting to favor them. But Alt Maverick seems to be the faster out of the Alpine and the Ferrari so far. And Cam K has not closed in any ground so far on the drivers in front of him. But yeah, there's not really much going on in terms of on-track battling as of right now. MCR has closed up to the back of Jordan. And then obviously we still have the 4 Honda-powered cars, and Slumcon is now closed up to the back of Durtim. And I'm surprised United Bosnia and Durtim are still out on these soft tires.
Yeah, I think the strange thing here is I feel for Ivor a little bit, because Passe should find this quite light work ahead of him. You know, he's got Connor, of course, and he's got McDutchface to contend with. I don't think he's going to necessarily catch Alex before Alex pits. So there's not that much traffic to get through. So actually, having the less number of alt strats is probably detrimental to them, because the net leaders find it fairly easy just to carve through 2 or 3 of them rather than 6 or 7.
Yeah, only having the 4 drivers that were on the alt strat and now just catching the first one as 2 drivers into the pit lane. I imagine that's United Bosnia, and Dirt Tim is actually United Bosnia almost into the back of Dirt Tim into the pit lane, and now Pass is going to be making his way past McDutchface, you'd kind of imagine here, especially with 80% ERS, hasn't lost any since coming into the pit lane. And he's going to be making his way past the Red Bull and past the first amount of traffic that he's going to have on this strategy. Major Falcon 2 seconds behind McDutchface. All Maverick hasn't closed in anything since that fastest lap of the race, and Camke still falling even further back. MCR on the back of Jordan. That battle is getting a little bit closer, but I remember Mike, he's been slowly but surely pulling away from Alex and starting to put himself kind of into this race. He still has a few more laps until he's hit the pit lane to put himself onto soft tires, but still, he's looking pretty decent already.
Yeah, he's going to come out around MCR Jordan kind of level, but there's not that many trains, so he could find it quite easy as running on board with McDutchface. He's running very wide, and this is going to really frustrate Falcon, because I feel like Falcon's going to get held up through here unless he gets him down into this corner. He's going to give it a go. He's pushing. He's on hers. Oh yeah, he's going to make it easy. And I think with McDutchface is just, yeah, he's just thinking, go on then, go away. Like, if I can stay in your DRS down into turn 1, great. That's just going to help me second up the road than what I would have been. So yeah, McDutchface has done this long enough. He's not going to fight battles that aren't his.
Yeah, MCR on the outside of Jordan, turn 13. A really good move actually there for the Alpine driver. So as one Alpine makes an overtake on what would be traffic, another Alpine makes his way past Mercedes on the same exact strategy. So MCR now putting himself further up up one more position in this race. Now has his goal of trying to close down Camke, who is seemingly struggling. But now Alt Maverick has the task of trying to overtake the same Red Bull Major Falcon just did. But Major Falcon has DRS going down towards turn 2. Alt Maverick obviously had DRS as well, but he's struggling on ERS as well. So he tried to use ERS to get as close as possible, but it didn't really do much for him. He's still just under half a second now behind the Red Bull driver, getting dirty air, and is still losing time to Major Falcon because McDutchface is going to start to hold him up through this middle sector.
Yeah, big time. And he is. You can already see, like, he's getting a bit out of shape, McDutchface, through 1 or 2 of those corners, and this is just going to hurt Maverick unnecessarily. But Ivor and Alex are going to be praying, and Connor, to be fair, and McDutchface are going to be praying for an SC. They will be really wanting it about now, because I think now would be a time where they could go on those softs. And maybe a lot of the grid would too, as Maverick does get past McDutchface.
Yeah, I think if everyone's going to be closing up, I think it would be a pretty decent idea for people to go onto soft tires, especially if you have that fresh set. As you mentioned, All Maverick making his way past McDutchface into P6. 1.2 seconds now behind Major Falcon. Has a little bit of momentum to try and close up to the Alpine drivers. Major Falcon has closed the gap to pass it, just out of DRS range, though, unfortunately for Major Falcon. But closing him down, All Maverick, if he uses enough ERS here, he might actually get within DRS range. Yeah, I think he's actually going to be within DRS range here as the Ferrari driver, getting a little bit of a slipstream, and now he'll have DRS. So now let's see how much he's going to close in, because DRS is absolutely broken here at Russia as Connor makes his way past Alex into turn 2, and Alt Maverick is going to be 6/10 of a second behind. So yeah, DRS completely broken here as Jordan and MCR do going past each other once again. The Mercedes now will be up on a P9, and MCR didn't have quite enough pace to stay in front of Jordan, but Jordan used all of his ERS. MCR looking to the inside of turn 3. That would be the outside for turn 4. Jordan leaves a gap, but not enough of a gap for MCR to sneak his car there.
Ooh, this is getting tasty. And Passe is catching that mini little train of Alex and Connor, as Alex just agonisingly dips out of DRS, which is not ideal for him. But this could be a problem. This could be a problem for Passe.
Yeah, Yeah, Alex out of DRS, but actually Connor makes a little bit of a mistake going into turn 13. So Alex is going to have DRS for sure, you would tend to imagine, going down toward, or going through turn 1 down towards turn 2. MCR and Jordan going past each other once again. MCR, after getting overtaken, immediately wanted to get past and does get past into turn 13 here on lap number 14 for these guys. But now All Maverick is fully put himself into DRS range. Major Falcon's still a little bit far behind, but now Pass is going to have a little bit of advantage because Alex doesn't have DRS, surprisingly, and he doesn't have really any ERS. Pass with DRS and ERS. Let's see what he can do down to turn 2. Alex not really going to defend it. He's going to stay on the outside line. He's going to keep his car there. Pass is going to squeeze him out. He's going to be up into P3, but Major Falcon unable to take advantage of this because he's just not close enough to get DRS.
This is just incredible. These guys have really pumped their battery, and they're lucky that they all have, because I was looking at the battery situation, but Passe is the only one that has quite a bit. So he's in a great situation, actually, to be fair. And Connor's going to be easy work because obviously he's not got any assistance from being able to open that rear wing. I think this is Passe's. I think Falcon potentially could struggle, although Alex now is obviously jumping out himself. So yeah, I think Passe's got this to lose realistically.
Yeah, I think I tend to agree with you on that one. I think this is Passe's race to lose. But Major Falcon trying to make his way past Alex. Alex did have DRS going down towards turn 13, so he's able to gain a little bit. So Major Falcon net gaining a little bit as well. Marty and Jordan. Marty's actually close up to these guys as well on what is 3-lap fresher tires, or 3-lap fresher medium tires. Marty's actually showing some pretty decent pace closing up to MCR and Jordan because he was around 3-4 seconds behind them. So that's pretty decent, trying to work on his comeback drive after that spin a little bit earlier on. But now this is going to be Major Falcon's chance. Alex doesn't have DRS. Major Falcon is going to have DRS. He's going to be making his way past the Alpha Tower quite easily, you'd imagine. Alex gives a little bit of a defend, but isn't going to be too much, as now Passe makes his way past Connor as well into turn 2. But now Maverick has to try and get past the Alpha Tower. The Alpha Tower should be struggling, you'd imagine, but turn 3 isn't going to be too much of a difference between the tires. He's going to try it down the inside of turn 3. Major Falcon's going to be just in front of him. Now the Ferrari around the Alpha Tower. The Alpha Tower goes off onto the inside of the corner, gets a warning and a penalty for cutting the corner. And now All Maverick is passed, and Major Falcon still out of DRS range.
As Alex did another spin. Poor lad, he got it in F2 as well. So, yeah, very unfortunate for him as he dropped really, really back. And I tell you, this is going to play into the hands of Ivor. I think he's going to come out in 7th, and yeah, that's it. His tyres are cooked. He's done. He just needs to make sure he keeps it out of the wall. It looks like he's kind of just chilling.
Oh, he's lost an end plate as well.
Yeah.
Left end plate.
He just needs to get back into the pits, stick on some softs, and just hope there's an SC, I think, and that's his best bet.
Yeah.
Try and get around as quick as you can as well, so you don't get laps. So if there is one, it will help you. But Falcon, ooh, and we have a pit. We have a pit in the form of Connor. Ivor has stayed out, but you've got to think Ivor's drained that battery. He's really put it to work.
Yeah, he's trying to keep that big gap to passive, which isn't much of a gap really anymore. Cam K will move up to 5th, but now Alt Maverick is going to move up into 3rd place. He's around the outside of turn 2. Major Falcon is going to keep it up or down the inside, but unable to keep the position, interestingly enough. Alt Maverick able to keep it around the outside, but now both of these guys are really low in ERS, and now they lost even more time to Passe just because they were battling. Passe has the ERS. He has around a 40% ERS advantage on the guys behind him, so he could just keep him out of DRS range if he really wanted to. He could tease them and prod them all he really wants, but he should be able to keep them out unless Alt Maverick has some unworldly pace, which I don't think he has, unfortunately, for the American Ego, but yeah, I don't think Alt Maverick's going to be able to close that gap. Passe can use his ERS, and Ivor and Mike now only 9 seconds in front of Passe. It's going to be tough for him to close back that gap, especially now since the laps are starting to tick down, and those soft tires are not going to be too great once he hits the end of this race.
Yeah, this is it, and this is going to be very interesting to see how someone like Connor is going to work his way up to someone like probably Jordan and MCR, and you got to think I think Ivor's going to come out around MCR, I would say. This is going to be really close, and it would really help his race if he got out ahead of MCR.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that one. Yeah, he's going to come out around MCR, around P7, P8, but he should be able to, well, leave them. You'd tend to think if he's on those fresh soft tires, especially compared to 9-lap old mediums, I think he'd have quite a big advantage. Just coming out of the pit lane now. I'm just getting rid of his speedometer. He's up 5th, 6th, 7th gear now for the McLaren driver. He's going to be just out in front of MCR, actually, as Jordan makes the move on the Alpine driver as well. So Iver Mike doesn't even have to make his way past those two drivers, so now he can really get on with his race. The next two drivers in front of him, Marty and his teammate Cam K, both have penalties. We can see how many. It's 6 seconds for Marty, so he will have to overtake him if he wants to get up to his teammate, who's 5.1 seconds on track in front of the Ferrari driver. So he does have a little bit of a ways to go, but I think he can close that up, and possibly, it's a little bit of a stretch, but he might be able to make it onto the podium.
He's going to need some work. He's going to need some serious work. And the thing is with Iver is that we've seen it in quali. He's guilty of overdriving the car sometimes. He needs to make sure he doesn't do that. Just let those tyres bring him to them, and they're going to have to make a mistake, realistically, for him to get a podium. But you've got to fancy him coming fourth. You know, that's almost guaranteed. It really requires a mistake from Falcon or Maverick or Passe, I think, at this point for a podium.
Yeah, as I said, it's a little bit of a stretch, but he might be able to get there if he really picks up the pace. But he's still not within DRS range of Marty, so he's going to take he's going to take his time, I would imagine. But he should have, if he keeps on pushing like this, he doesn't have much ERS though. Unfortunately, Marty does have quite a bit, so he might not get DRS on this lap, depending on his exit out of the final corner. I don't think he will. Marty uses a little bit of ERS as Major Falcon and Alt Maverick will switch positions going down to turn 2. Alt Maverick trying to get the switch back. He's going to go to the inside for turn 3. It's going to be the better run. He's going to gain a little bit more time. But now these guys are just losing more time to pass it. They've just decided to battle each other because they can't seem to close up to the Haas driver, who seems to be destined to win this race. Connor sets fastest lap of the race on a 133.6, and Alt Maverick will keep the position in front of Major Falcon right now. These are crucial points for Alt Maverick in this championship battle. These are crucial points for Major Falcon as well, and for Passe. Major Falcon 4th in the championship, Alt Maverick 2nd in the championship, and Passe, after his win last week, 9th in the championship, and it's really close there in the midfield of Division 4. So quite a lot to gain here from this Russian Grand Prix. Only one driver we still have 13 drivers out of 14 drivers in this race, as we are on lap number 19. So not too bad, only one retiree, but looks like Passe is on to win this race so far.
Yeah, absolutely, and Iver has now got himself into DRS range of Marty. He used his battery down into turn 1, which I didn't really understand, to be honest, and it's just putting himself at a bit of a disadvantage because he's going to start derating by the end of it. And he just needs to let it come to him, which is something, again, it's something he's guilty of not letting happen. He can put it in the wall for no reason, just from overdriving, but he just needs to kind of wheel in Cam K and just hope that the rest kind of comes to him.
Yeah, that's really what he has to hope for, because there should be no doubt that he makes his way past Marty. He might have to use a little bit of ERS if Marty uses his ERS, which it doesn't seem he's doing. He will use a little bit now after he passes the DRS detection point. But Iver Mike using his ERS, using the DRS. He doesn't have much ERS left. Let's see what he's going to do. He's going to move to the inside of the Ferrari driver, the McLaren, and the Ferrari. We saw this on lap 1. Marty keeps the outside line. He has to cut the track just a little bit. Well, Iver Mike will have to stay in behind for the time being. Iver has to be more decisive than that. He has to get alongside. He has to get in front. He has to do something. Otherwise, he's not going to be able to make these overtakes. He only has one more. He only really needs to make this one overtake to get up to P4, but still, anyways, he has to try and make his way past Marty, because anyways, he still has a, 2.3, 2.6 second gap to his teammate, anyways.
This is it, and what I don't really understand from that is that when he used that ERS out of turn 1, sorry, out of the last corner, and obviously out down in through turn 1, it made him derate there, to the point he didn't get the overtake done, so... but he should get it here. I mean, and he should be able to keep. He should be able to keep it. But yeah, look, that derate has cost him again. So he's just now kind of sticking behind as Connor picks up another pen.
Yeah, I've been like unable to get the move done, but he's keeping closer through the final sector. I think out of the final corner on the last lap, he was just around 0.4 of a second behind, so you can't really get much closer than that. But the slipstream will be more powerful if you are closer. He has a little bit more ERS because you will save a little bit, but has a block up into the final corner, loses quite a bit of time, loses 2-3 tenths maybe, uses his ERS now down towards the DRS activation point. He's still going to keep on using, and there's no chance really for Marty to defend this one now, unless he uses ERS, which he didn't. So Iverson Mike now going to be up on the P5, and now we'll have clean air to try and push away from Marty before the next major straight in the next DRS area. So he has a little bit of time to try and create a gap. Even if he doesn't break Marty from DRS, he'll have the opportunity to create a big enough gap. And there's the 3-second time penalty. So now he has 5 seconds to catch to his teammate, and now he still has to make the overtake. And we're on lap 21 to 27, so really time is running out. He needs to close a second per lap, and then he has, what, 1, maybe 2 laps to make an overtake.
We're going to see McDutchface versus Lundo Tim rematch. Talking of which, Lundo Tim had a little look at Bosnia there. This is a great camera angle, but as it just gets taken away. McDutchface just can't help but look down the inside because he's got that much grip. He's not trying to poke his nose in. It's just his car's going around the corner so much more efficiently. And he's so desperate to get past. He's so desperate to get past Lundo Tim and have a go at his teammate. And I think he should have no problem here because Lundo Tim deep into that battery. And, but also Slump is looking a little bit dangerous on the back, but not close enough. And McDutchface just gets 2 into 1. Incredible move, and has overtaken his teammate and Lundo Tim, who actually falls behind Connor.
Yeah, so Dirtim losing, what, 2 positions there? McDutchface gaining 2 positions, and Slumcon will be up to P11, United Bosnia down to P10. So McDutchface now on those 5-lap fresh or soft tires will be able to, well, what you would think drive away into the distance, but his teammate's going to have DRS on him. Connor's going to have DRS. Dirtim is a little bit far away, but he's going to have DRS as well. Let's see what happens. Jordan making his way past MCR once again, but now United Bosnia looking to the outside of his teammate down towards turn 2. They don't really need to be fighting because they could continue to lose positions, but actually both Red Bull... Oh! McDutchface almost into the wall there. Very fortunate to keep it out of the wall there. Great save from the Red Bull driver, but now he's behind Slumcon, who's on the same tires as him, on the same age, and he's also behind his teammate, but Slumcon does have a penalty, and out of this battle, the Red Bulls are the only 2 without penalties, and Dirtim's out. There is time for a safety car. Safety car! That's a safety car. That completely changes everything now. Because... does Passe pit here? It's a pretty spread out field.
You know Ivor's not going to pit, so that's the danger. You know you're going to probably come out behind Ivor.
Yeah.
I can't imagine Ivor pitting. I think the fact that Ivor is there means they don't.
Passe stays out. Alt Maverick will take the gamble as well as Major Falcon. So Passe is going to be left out to dry a little bit here. Kamke's in. Ivor would, I would guess, stay out. Yeah, Ivor stays out. Marty's in. Obviously, he's going to have to double stack with Alt Maverick, though. I would imagine everybody else is going to be in as well. MCR, Jordan, Bosnia, Connor, McDutchface. Well, Alex doesn't really need to come in, but as well as Connor and McDutchface, so they can make up a few positions. But now it's going to be Passe followed by Ivor and Mike. And we're on lap 23 here, and those soft tires who we thought might drop off a little bit towards the end, that safety car is really going to help him now.
Wow, I mean, there is a universe. There is a very small universe, but there's a universe that Ivor gets past Passe, and Passe
holds everyone up.
Yeah, you know, that it's, I'm not saying it's guaranteed and foolproof, but it could happen. So this is going to be hugely interesting. This completely shakes everything up. I mean, Bosnia stayed out, which, yeah, I don't know. I'd probably just go back in if I was him.
Yeah.
But, well in for police Alex, I'm just going to go with. Well done to him. I don't know why he didn't pit just for another set of softs, because he might as well, but he's now got himself a point after being spun nearly a lap down, and yeah, that's why you stay in this, and that's why it's nice to see someone not just a snap rage quitting. So,
yeah.
You've got a reward for it.
Yeah, it's nice to see not to see someone just coming straight into the pit lane. Division 2. I mean, wait, who said that? Who said that? Anyways, yeah, Passe behind the safety car is going to be leading this race once we do get underway, unless he decides to spin or something like that. Iverburn Mike will be in behind him on a 12-lap fresher soft tires, which is quite the gap, you'd have to say, and then Alt Maverick fresh, completely fresh soft tires, followed by Major Falcon, who's trying to burn fuel. Cam K, fresh softs. United Bosnia on 10-lap old medium tires. Decides to stay out. Connor, Marty, MCR, Jordan, McDutchface, and Alex all on soft tires. So the only two guys who stayed, or well, the three guys who stayed out, Passe and Bosnia on mediums, and Iverburn Mike on softs. It's going to be interesting to see what happens here. You know, Maverick could win this. Well, should win this, especially with Ivor's penalty.
You would think the favourites is Maverick and Falcon. That would be my take, and they've been so close to each other for most of this race, and it's going to be, yeah, I think they're the favourites. I think Ivor is probably next favourite, if I'm honest. I think they're the standout favourites, just because of Cam K's pen. And then I would say, I don't know, I think they're the only three that can really win it. I mean, Passe, yeah, I suppose he can.
Yeah, Passe as well. So,
he's going to struggle.
Yeah. There's going to be, well, if Alex can close up, which I would imagine he'd be able to, unless he pits again or something like that, I would imagine we are going to be in on this lap. So we're going to have lap 25, 26, and we're going to have DRS on the final lap. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here, because if Maverick gets out front early and Major Falcon is able to get behind him, it's going to be a titanic battle for the lead of this race.
Everyone's got enough fuel. I'll just cycle through just to see, and if they didn't, they wouldn't anyway now, because this is going to help them. But this is really intriguing. This is going to be. I mean, as much as we talked about Ivor getting past Passe and Passe holding them up, I mean, actually the reverse could happen, right? You know, Ivor could actually hold up these guys to the point where he just stops them from getting at Passe.
Yeah. But I think that advantage, even just the 5-lap gap between these tires is going to be big enough for these guys to have a decent enough tire advantage to make their way past. But yeah, we're on lap number 24 here. The safety car is going to be in on this lap. It's going to be up to Passe to decide when we go. But everyone's going to have a pretty decent chance, since it is Russia, and ERS can be very powerful. But everyone's going to be on that 100% battery as we are on to as we head into lap number 25 for the safety car restart. So let's see what Passe goes. He goes out of the penultimate corner, which is interesting because that gives Iverburn Mike and Maverick and Major Falcon, all these guys up behind, a pretty decent chance to jump on him. And all Maverick already trying to make his way past the McLaren driver of Iverburn Mike. Major Falcon didn't get the greatest to jump. Cam K on the back of Major Falcon is closer to Major Falcon than he is to All Maverick. All Maverick looking up the inside of Iverburn Mike into turn 2. He breaks late, but not late enough, and Ivor will keep the position for the time being. No real Battison behind. McDutchface looking up the inside of Jordan, but not quite close enough. Marty's had a spin, unfortunately, already. Now through turn 3, All Maverick trying to keep close enough. He's really close, but he isn't quite close enough. Iverburn Mike gets us a little bit of a slow run. Heading through turn 4 now. All Maverick into turn number 5. Let's see what he can do. The Ferrari on the inside of the McLaren. The McLaren will try and keep it on the outside. All Maverick gives him the space, but he doesn't really need to, because Alt Maverick is now up into P2, and now he has 18-lap old medium tire runner Ariel Passe in front of him, looking to win this race. And Major Falcon has started to come back into this one, clips the curb at turn 8 there, but he's already right on the back of Iverburn Mike in this one as well.
Yeah, Maverick now just needs to breathe. He just needs to relax, because he should have this as, I'll tell you what, Major Falcon's doing a brilliant job of slipstreaming Ivor, and he's going to have a look at some point. Ivor goes defensive. He's going to try it around the outside. He goes way too deep. That's an easy save. It's Cam K now getting involved and getting interested, and that's a big problem for Falcon, and he nearly loses it. Bosnia in overtaking.
Yeah, Major Falcon really late on the brakes as well. He was almost into the back of Iverburn Mike there into turn number 15. But look up at the front. Passe, or Iverson Mike with this battle. He's been a little bit of a gap has been created. McDutchface finally makes his way past Jordan up into P9, up behind his teammate. But now it's Maverick and Passe going down towards turn 2. Maverick is going to burn all of his ERS. Passe has already used quite a bit, but he's going to allow the Ferrari through because he knows he doesn't really need to battle this. Now Major Falcon around the outside of Iverson Mike into turn 2. That's going to be tight between the two drivers. The Alpine will keep it on the track, and yeah, he's able to keep the position for the time being. Now Cam K is going to be up the inside of his teammate. So it looks like Alt Maverick could have this race victory absolutely nailed here in Russia, but he still has a little while to go. He's just over a lap and a half to secure this thing. Major Falcon looking for a possible P2, but Passe dropping back after that safety car. Really unfortunate timing for him, but also messing up the strategy, not deciding to pit for those soft compound tires. Alt Maverick will lead this race, followed by Passe, Major Falcon, Cam K, and Iverson Mike, and then Connor. But MCR and McDutchface as well as Jordan all could be on for top 4, top 5 positions because of penalties in front of them.
Yeah, huge. MCR's doing a great job of just sticking in, and Lisi Alex up to get 2 points. That was now. Passe is struggling. I think he's given up. I think he's kind of given up. He's not using anything, and he's just and he's now down into 4th.
Yeah, really dropping off. Those mediums are really struggling for the Haas driver. So it's going to be an Alt Maverick and Major Falcon 1-2. That's what we had in qualifying, just the flipped order. Cam K's up to P3, but still has that penalty. So Passe still on the podium. So Passe doesn't really need to fight anything as long as he stays within what I think is 6 seconds for Cam K. No, only 3 seconds for the McLaren driver. Alt Maverick fastest lap of the race, a 133.265 as we go on to the final lap. Cam K is going to have DRS on Major Falcon. Passe has DRS as well, so he's going to be able to keep close for a little while. Iverson Mike, though, trying to fight it. Passe is using his using his ERS. Iverson Mike will use his ERS. Will look up the inside, but not going to be quite close enough. Passe will gain on Cam K as because the McLaren driver tried to make a move on Major Falcon, but it was unsuccessful into turn number 2. So Passe, I think, might just have this podium locked up. He still has a few drivers behind him, but I don't think they're going to be quite close enough. But it looks like MCR, honestly, could be on for a possible 4th place here, as Alt Maverick should be going on to win this race as long as he keeps it on the track.
Cam K is going to kick himself because he didn't need to make that. Falcon was actually his friend. He wanted Falcon to drag him along with him. There's no need to do that. And if he loses this by half a second to MCR, he's going to be absolutely gutted.
Yeah, because what's the gap right now? Actually, just looking at the leader gap, Cam K is 2.4 seconds, and MCR is 4.2. So it's around 1.8 seconds. So it's still. Cam K still needs to pull out a really big gap, but he didn't have ERS going down towards turn 13, so that really hindered him in his battle with what would be MCR. Passe should have the podium locked up. Iverson Mike is going to be P5, but he's going to be falling back because of penalties, as well as Connor. But MCR, McDutchface, and Jordan should be all making up positions. They could possibly be 4th, 5th, and 6th, but Alt Maverick is going to come around the final corner to win this race. Major Falcon will take fastest lap at crossing the line on the final lap. Passe will take P3. MCR McDutchface will take P4, P5 with no penalties. Cam K will drop back 5 thousandths of a second behind McDutchface. As you mentioned, he's going to be kicking himself after that one. Cam K P6 by 5 thousandths of a second. Jordan P7, and then Iverson Mike. He looked on for a podium, but that late penalty really hindered him before the safety car. Connor in P9, United Bosnia P10. Alex will pick up 2 points in P11, and then Marty will cross the line. He'll take 1 point for himself and for Ferrari. But Alt Maverick closes down the championship lead to Ryan B. It was, I think, 30 points. So now the gap is only no, it was 29 points. So the gap is only 4 points now. Yeah, and it would have been 3 if Falcon didn't nick the fastest lap of him at the last second as well. So it's on, it's definitely on, and Passe will be the one gutted there. I think a few people will be kicking themselves, either Passe and Cam K, I think, will be the ones that will be walking off there thinking, could have got more. And Marty as well, looked really good. Kept himself out of trouble actually in the first stint. It's just the second stint he did the opposite. Yeah, a few spins in there for him as well. Unfortunate for him. Is actually Marty picked up fastest lap as well at the death there, 132.1. So just about a second faster than Alt Maverick and Major Falcon. But it is Marty's teammate, All Maverick, who will take the win. American in Russia. Interesting combination there. But yeah, Major Falcon will finish second. Passe will finish third. MCR in fourth. McDutchie fifth. Cam K in sixth. Ariel Jordan in seventh. ESW Iverburn Mike in P8. Sumcon in P9. United Bosnia in P10. Alex in P11. And Marty will take 2 points. One for 12th place and one for fastest lap. Dirt Tim and Energetics did not finish this race, but yeah, that's it for the Russian Grand Prix for Division 4. We can't get these guys into the party, and I'm going... it would be very nice if you would get them into the party, because I have to go use the bathroom real quick. So,
cool. Yeah, so this was an interesting race. This was very, very, very interesting. There's gonna, like I say, there's going to be a lot of people that are kicking themselves. It'll just be interesting to see what some of these guys think. You know, go through their heads, and yeah, let's have a look. So I'm just going through adding Maverick, Major Falcon. Let's have a go. Yeah, it was a tale of a lot of difficulties out there tonight. So Major Falcon has been invited, and I just need Well Passe. Well Passe. Well, where are you? Is this your name? I assume it's your name. Yeah. There we go. Let's see. Let's see if anyone joins us.
that is unfortunate. Hopefully we can get a few of them. I'm sure I would imagine Alt Maverick would join. He typically joins. Well, Passe. Here's Passe. Just wait a little bit longer. Actually, if you want to start off interviews, Passe, feel free.
Yeah. Relentless strategies there. You regretting that choice? Not jumping on those softs?
Yeah. I don't know. That was like out of any safety car, that was the worst time safety car in my opinion for like in my position.
Yeah.
I had no idea what to do because I thought the safety car was going to stay out for 3 laps, and I thought to myself, okay, maybe 2 laps with the amount of ERS I had, I could have maybe try to hold on. But yeah, now looking back at it, obviously I think I should have definitely pit. Just I was thinking that in my position, if I didn't pit, if I went in this pit, everybody would have stayed out, and I would have been in a weird position where I'd have to try and overtake 7 cars in 2 laps. So
I think I don't know. I mentioned this to Packer in the commentary. What would have made my life difficult was the fact that you knew that Ivor wasn't going to pit, because Ivor had only just got onto those softs, right? So
yeah,
you knew that you were not. You knew that you're going to get stuck behind someone at least. So I don't blame you for doing it. It was such a tough call. It's easy to say after the event. So. Yeah, that was pretty brutal. But I mean, you still picked up a podium. Like,
yeah, I'm happy.
That's pretty damn impressive.
Yeah, no, I'm really happy. But yeah, that's just the only regret I'd have for Russia, because I think I had the pace to win it potentially, but yeah. So the only regret.
Fair.
The issue is the thing is that if my only option was to stay out and hope that people would follow me, as I was leading the race. So, but yeah.
Yeah. No, it was a tough call, but no, well done on the podium.
Thank you.
And, yeah, congratulations. But yeah, on to Alt Maverick. Sir, that was quite the drive. I bet you felt very relieved when you got past Ivor, because it must have felt like a matter of time when you got behind Passe there.
Yeah, I put that as my first goal during that restart, was to get past Ivor as soon as I can. But it's always It's always annoying when you get those late safety cars because I was even telling Mike and Energistics and Passe, we were all in a party, that if that safety car never came out, I wouldn't have caught Passe, and if I did, I probably wouldn't have got past him. So it's just unfortunate that we get those late safety cars that just change everything. But when it came to in terms of like my side of things and that the fact that Ryan wasn't here today, I knew I needed to win. I knew I needed every point I can get to try to close that gap down, and I'm just happy that I was able to win and get all the points that I could.
Well, yeah, no, absolutely. So the gap is, we believe it's 4 points. That's a lot more healthy than it was once looking, right? So and what I find really intriguing is that I actually don't think, and take this the right way, I don't think you're the two quickest drivers in the division. I would probably say Passe is maybe slightly quicker, but there's no point being quick if you don't ever bloody turn up, right? So that's the thing. So I think it's going to be really interesting with you two, because you've got those people around you that are going to push you, like Major Falcon, of course, as well. Marty can be up there. There's plenty, right? So seconds and thirds even aren't going to be disastrous results for you guys, I don't think.
Yeah, it's always going to hurt when you don't get as many points as you can get, but the title fight has changed so much. I mean, looking back on the first 3 races, you could say that it was easily going to be, me, Ryan, Jordan, going out and being the front runners and the front 3 that you should expect to be on the podium every week. And now that Passe is here, it's changed, and he brings speed to this division, and it was a little heartbreaking to see him get the full-time seat, not gonna lie, because I knew that he was going to be up there at the front and lowered my chances of winning. But yeah, it's more of a challenge, it's more of a fight, and it's awesome to have just that extra level competition.
Yeah, no, fair. Who said that Jordan would be up there? I got Jordan?
He was there in Bahrain. In
Yeah.
Bahrain. I believe he finished I believe he finished 3rd in Bahrain, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Fair. But yeah, we haven't got Falcon in with us, so I think that pretty much concludes everything realistically.
I would
yeah.
tend to agree. I would tend to agree on that one. So yeah, thank you, Maverick and Passe, who is no longer here, for joining us in the commentators booth after round 7 of Division 4. Unfortunate with the attendance. Hopefully we'll be back up for it next week. Hopefully we can get a full grid for what will be the Austrian Grand Prix, I believe. So yeah, thank you, Maverick, once again. Thank you, Mark, for joining me in the commentators booth, so I wasn't completely alone. But yeah, I think that's been it from Division 4 and from myself and from Mark.